The third stage, called transfiguration stage, that's where you start to walk the walk, talk the talk. You make the changes. You know, you change your attitude. You know, you're driving down the road, somebody cuts you off. You don't give them the finger. You know, you just back off and let them do their thing. You know, there's just little subtle changes like that. You know, little changes with me. Me and my son used to love to play Xbox together. I mean, Halo fanatics. I mean, straight from, you know, when the series first came out, all the way up, up until Reach just came out. You know, and then I finally, when I awakened and I was realigning, I was realizing, gee, that's just, you know, programming hate and anger and killing. What am I doing? What am I thinking? And that's one of the hardest things I've had to do, was take that Xbox 360 and put it on the shelf. Because I love to play. I was Master Chief. I was a man. I was killing grunts left and right and brutes and the whole 9 yards. But I awakened and I realized, I realigned that's wrong. That's programming. That's programming, you know, separation. That's programming hate. That's programming killing and anger. You know, and definitely one of the hardest things I've had to do was take that, wrap it up, stick it on the shelf, and never play it again. I haven't played it in months. I haven't. So that's part of the transfiguring station.
Is your son speaking to you?
Huh?
Is your son speaking to you?
Yeah, and I'm trying to teach him all these things, but you know, he's a kid. It's in one ear and out the other. You know, that's just the way it rolls with him. But you know, hopefully, hopefully when you start, you know, starts growing up, that he'll catch on.
Does he still play video games?
Realize this. I think once the earth changes really start to roll into effect and people start realizing what's going on, that's when it's really going to start clicking with him. He wanted to come up here with me tonight, and I had friends that had kids too, and you know, they come together at these events and they go out and play in the beach, but you know, they couldn't come, so he just opted to stay home because he knows he would just get bored sitting here listening to Dad talk. You know, he wants to go out on the beach and go chase crabs and stuff. So that's where I consider myself to be, right there is in the transfigurational gateway. So I've awoken probably about 2 years ago when I just started researching UFOs, led towards first thing I was reading about was the Billy Muir experiences and his the things that Semyasi was teaching me, and that was my awakening experience, was what she was telling him, and it all resonated and it all made sense, and then I started to realign myself. I realized, okay, well, I'm doing this, and I really shouldn't be doing that. And I'm doing this, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing this, and this is okay. So we'll stay with this. I basically mapped out everything out there. I'm doing this right, this wrong, and now I'm in the process of making these changes and put it into place. Somebody raised their hand, had a question. Yeah.
I had a question earlier regarding what you were saying about the comet. Knowing what I know about comets and Earth and the planets, each and everything has a polarity and a magnetic field. All right. What kind of tipped me off to my idea was every time something happened, something in the Earth tectonic plates, they shift and create movement, which causes earthquake. That being said, don't you think the alignment of that comet you were talking about triggers something in the Earth energy or Earth, how should I say,
yeah,
tectonic fields polarity?
Yep.
Basically pulling it. Same thing you were saying with a magnetic field.
Exactly. It pulled somehow on the gravitational field of the Earth, moved shifting plates around, and that's what happened. Gee, did it just get unbelievably hot in here?
Mm-hmm.
I think they cut the AC off on us. Oh well.
That's because it's a free class.
All right, somebody will crack it open the window there. Okay, so then basically, the reason I had to look this video up is because I read through the video, it resonated. I consider myself to be in the third gateway in the transfigure stage, so I didn't even worry about the fourth or fifth gateway, but I looked it up because I wanted to share it, and also to learn where it's going from there. So this guy, Chris, in the video, he talks about the fourth gateway being enlightenment. And he calls it any fragment of your ego is actually released. And that you start integrating your soul into your being, and you confront your karma, if you will. So basically, we're running around this third dimension, we're thinking with our ego, we're thinking with our mind, what we think should be happening, not with what God or our higher self thinks should be happening. And when you reach this fourth gateway into this enlightenment stage, that's when you're aligning with your higher self. You've let your ego go behind. Kind of hard to fathom. You're actually, thinking with your soul and not thinking with your ego. But I imagine it is possible. And then he calls the fifth gateway a rebirth, where you're unfolding to multi-dimensional life. So way beyond what I'm at right now. Like I said, I consider myself to be in gateway 3. So why put the cart before the horse? I like to take things one step at a time. You know what I mean?
You said that was unfolding to multi-dimensional life.
Okay, yeah, so the fourth gateway they call enlightenment. They say any fragment of ego is released. Full integration of soul with being. So it's full integration of your soul with your being. So you're thinking with your ego. You're thinking with your higher self and not your ego. And that's where you confront your karma. At that level, all your past lives, karma comes back and revisits you. So all this anger, all this negativity, all these things that we've experienced surfaces, and you have to deal with it. You have to come to accept it. Give forgiveness to those that need forgiveness. If you need to forgive yourself, and just let all that go. You just got that's where it bubbles to the surface, and you let it go. The fifth gateway, the rebirth. They call it the resurrection, but I like to call it the rebirth, so I renamed it. And they said that's where you actually unfold yourself into a multi-dimensional life, where I would imagine it's where you can actually integrate with fifth dimensional beings, through the fourth dimension and also the third dimension, but not quite ascension because you haven't quite moved out there. I guess it would be like 1 foot in this side, 1 foot in the other, if you will. That's basically what I got out of it. Okay. All right, let's see. What else have I got to cover here?
And these are stages you'll experience throughout one lifetime? This one?
I'm sorry, what now?
These are stages that we expect to experience in this lifetime or through several lifetimes? Or?
Everybody, like I said, everybody's experience is different. And so it's hard to say. It's hard to tell what it would be like. Well, from what I do understand from regular human beings is that we came from source and went from carnation to carnation to carnation to actually experience life in this third dimensional existence, to what it would be like to be separated from source. Now that's different from what I understand Dolores talking about with the star seeds and the indigos that are coming in, because they're directly connected to the source. They haven't incarnated at all, and they're just kind of here to help us, guide us along, if you will. So that's kind of like a different existence, if you will. Does that make any sense? Does that answer your question at all?
Well, I guess more I was asking, is it possible to ascend through all those levels in your lifetime?
In one lifetime?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
And that's not part of the whole ascension rays of consciousness thing?
No, because we've been here for thousands of years in many lifetimes, reincarnating over and over again, just existing in the third dimension, if you will. But this lifetime, for what I understand, as we head to 2012, is going to be our opportunity to step into the fifth dimension. So yes, in this lifetime, we are going to move from third to fifth. But keeping in mind, the fourth dimension, we spend time in between with our sleep, in the dream state, in the astral state, in meditation. when we die, where our soul goes and rests, if you will. I don't wanna call it purgatory, because it's not really what it is, it's just the astral plane, it's
That's what I was thinking, what would death
transition.
become in a crystalline body?
Hmm?
What would death become to us in a crystal body, in a light body, of the fifth dimension?
I've heard that, they live for thousands of years.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, so that it would be just a progression
An
in the
upgrade,
same body.
yeah. What, no,
Last body
well,
you ever need.
what I was reading from the channels from Mike Quincy is that, we're gonna have the option, we can exist as a light being, or we could bring our body with us if we choose to, in a crystalline structure. So we have an option, we have a choice.
But still, I'm sure the lifespan is greatly elongated.
Yes, they say about thousands of years. They live thousands of years, from what I understand. I don't know, never met them, never talked to them about it, but, you know, I read a lot of different channels and a lot of contactee stories, and that's what they talk about, you know, that once you move up to that level, you know, you don't experience disease like we experience. You don't have to eat like we eat, because, you know, they exist off of prana from the sun, and, you know, they don't have to drink as much. Light refreshment is what they said. So with all those factors involved, that, yeah, it greatly increases the lifespan, and they say about, you know, live for thousands of years, so.
Is that similar to the theory of trying to aspire to be our best selves in life?
I'm sorry, what now?
Isn't that similar to the theory of us trying to aspire to be our best selves in our lives?
I think so, yeah.
That's eliminating
That's how you raise your
imperfections
vibratory
in
rate.
ourselves.
Yeah, that's how you raise your vibratory rate, you know, because every action carries a vibration, you know, and when you're happy, when you're joyous, you know, that's when you're at a higher vibratory rate, you know, and when, you know, you're angry and you're mad, you know, that's your lower vibratory rate. And I even want to do, I really want to do an experiment with this, and I've been thinking about this for a couple of months now, but I can't find somebody who's got an oscilloscope. Somebody's got an oscilloscope, let me know, because I want to actually see if I can physically measure this. Because what an oscilloscope does is it measures the length of a sine wave, if you will. So basically, you know, if anybody's ever worked in electronics, you touch ground, you touch the positive on the oscilloscope, and the thing just, you know, you can tell what the frequency's like. And if it's compacted like this, that's higher frequency. If it's spread out like this, it's lower frequency. So I want to do a little bit of experiments, and, you know, and I actually, you know, like force myself to get angry, and, you know, start yelling at my kid or something like that, and record it and measure what the frequency in hertz is, and then actually, you know, try to, you know, and go in and experience joy and happiness, and actually bring my emotional level up, and see if there's actually a measurable difference in hertz, if you will. You follow what I'm saying?
How do you spell that?
There's machines that are even better than the oscilloscope. It'll measure your energy. It's the
Blood pressure test.
in North Carolina, Duke. I just don't have the senior moment.
Yeah.
They've done some work on it at Duke University, and they've had some machines that measure your energy, that can measure energy quite critically.
Right, yeah.
Well,